Okay, New York Songwriting Adventure, take one. So recently I went to New York City on a little vacation with my lady, and that's where she's from. So I gave myself the challenge of writing a song in New York, loosely about New York or something related to our trip or my experience. So this video is talking about the challenges of writing about big subject matter, about writing while you're traveling without an instrument, and also to give some tips and tricks and ideas about how to write songs on the fly and how to come up with something that you like, ingesting a big topic and creating ideas from it. So we got on a plane, and right off the bat, I started running into some challenges. We're on the plane, and I love flying. And I love sitting at the window seat and looking down on the world and just thinking, watching the scenery and all of that. I'm realizing that it's really, really, really hard to write about big things and big experiences and big ideas without it sounding a little forced and a little contrived and a little too on the nose. So this is my experience in New York. We get to New York and it's so full on, and I'm taking in all the sights and all the sounds, and this is the challenge with trying to write about something really big, is that there is so much, and there's so much to say that it can be really tough to figure out what exactly you're trying to say. This happens all the time to people when they try to write songs about love or a really monumental experience in our lives. You're trying to say all of these things about how much you love this person and how much they mean to you and these experiences and this and this and this, but it can get so big and so nebulous that, in my eyes, the best love songs are the ones that are really specific, writing about one little reason why you love that person, one little moment that you shared with them that meant so much to you. To take a really big idea and boil it down into something really specific so that you can create a really specific setting and a picture that the listener can access. So, as I'm going through these days, I'm sort of cataloging these little ideas. I'm coming up with little ideas about what I can write a song about. Maybe this thing, maybe this thing, maybe this thing. You know, we get there and there's so many sights and sounds, and we ride the subway, which is so different than Portland, and it reminds me of, I used to live in Boston. I was riding the train all the time, so there's a lot of things coming up. And we went to the MoMA and we saw, some amazing artwork, and I had a lot of ideas about seeing this artwork, but also people watching at the museum, and ideas about going to the museum to watch the people instead of the art, or all of these things floating around. But beyond that, the bigger challenge is not just writing about something specific, but which of those specific little moments really has resonance. We consume a lot of fiction all the time, television and movies and books, but I believe that fiction is not just purely made up, that it comes from somewhere, and that we can use fiction as a tool to write about our own personal experience and to communicate things that we are feeling that will resonate with the audience that watches it. So similarly, as I'm moving through New York and as I'm seeing all the sights and the sounds and noticing these little details and coming up with little ideas and little seeds for what might be a song, I'm also thinking about what of those feel personal to me? Which of those feel like they resonate? Which of those feel like they have a little bit of personal stake and a piece of my story in them? So I'm cataloging all of these ideas, but nothing is really sticking for me until last Saturday afternoon when we went to a Yankees game. So I was with my girlfriend, her brother, her sister-in-law, and her nephew. And they're about to move from New York to Texas. And I also moved a lot when I was younger. And my girlfriend's nephew is about the same age that I was when I made a few moves. And so I was thinking a lot about that, a lot about this kid's experience and what he's about to go through. But I'm watching him watch the game, and I'm thinking about his love of baseball, and specifically Aaron Judge, this incredible player on the New York Yankees. I'm thinking how much he loves this player, this game, this atmosphere, all of those things, and how hard the next few months may be for him in that baseball, in this game, this player might be a little bit of joy in what might be a somewhat tumultuous time for him. And so I have this idea that everything could be really difficult for this kid. But Aaron Judge is hitting .434. So I have this little melody. Aaron Judge is hitting .434. And I sing it into my phone a couple times, and I, kind of working out this melody and this idea. And I'm starting to fine tune it. One of the things that I love about writing without an instrument is that you're not letting the instrument steer the ship. You can start from a really pure and genuine place and just kind of figure out those melodies and figure out what you want to say. And you can also start to shape melodies that get really interesting, that aren't just fitting into, traditional strumming patterns or chord progressions that you might play. And I'm starting to write this tune, and I'm starting to figure it out. And, I'm pulling in some of the imagery of New York and some of the things that we experienced, and, trying to kind of synthesize, what is this song about? What is the thesis statement of this song? What am I trying to say really specifically? And that question is kind of open-ended for a while as I'm working through the tune. Aaron Judge is batting .434 at a moment a day. But then I'm driving in the car yesterday, and this might be a safety hazard, but it was late and there weren't a lot of cars on the road, so I pulled out the notes app on my phone, the voice memos app, and I sang into it a lyric that started to really expand on that story and really tell the story that I wanted to tell. And if they win, then we can hop on a plane and we can fly back to New York to see the parade. And then I can see my friends from today and tell them all about this place. And I start to figure out the core of this song and this idea that this kid, who is now becoming a fictional character of the kid that I started with and based the song on. Now this kid he's holding on to hope that the Yankees win the World Series because his dad said that they can go to the parade. And if he gets to go to the parade, then he can see his friends and he can hang out with them. And that was man, that kind of hit home, because I remember feeling like that when I was a kid. And being in a totally new place and feeling like, man, I wish I could just kind of go back to the last home and revisit that for a little while. Okay, so I've got a chorus figured out. Got this idea for the song roughly figured out. And now I'm stuck trying to write a verse. It happens to all of us. Figuring out, what is that little snapshot? Where does the listener enter the story, and where are they at? What is that moment? How does it relate to the chorus that I've written, and how does it lead into that? So that's the challenge for now. And yeah, we're gonna keep working at it.
I hate this place. It's too damn hot to hit 100 in May, and everything feels so damn far away. We had to drive almost an hour to my baseball game, and I hate this place.